But Janice, I want to talk about you. You have lived through one of the most restrictive regimes in modern history. What was the moment when you knew you had to leave?
Well, I was born during the Cultural Revolutions. My parents were engineers, and so they were sent to forced labor camps in very remote southern part of China. And at the time, we were located in so remote that it took me 1.5 hours walking to the closest school and walking through cemeteries, climb a hills, walk through crop fields. And I was a forced child labor, growing sugar cane for the school on the top of the hill, carry fertilizers heavier than myself. And during harvest season, pick crops that were dropped on the field because they use hand tools. And every day I must fill up a full bag of crops picked. Otherwise, I was not allowed to return to school. So that was my childhood. And my first birthday cake was when I was 10 years old, when I left China. And why I left China? Because my father, as an engineer, he knew that Einstein believed in God, and he had never had any chance to learn Christianity. And so he sent me to Hong Kong to a Christian school.
And what was that like for you? Now, I mean, during the time you didn't know any other childhood. Did you ever have happy moments or was it really all depressing?
Well, I did not know what the world would look like because I was growing up in only one environment. So, give you an example. Television, there was only one television for the entire labor camp, and there were only two occasions that we watched televisions was Mao Zedong and Zhou Enlai's funeral. And everybody stood in front of the television, must wear something black, and we didn't have enough black clothes, and so we cut it and then wrap around the shoulder. That's what my association of televisions. It was only until I went to Hong Kong that, oh, there are cartoons on television. There are lots of fun stuff, a lot of news and everything. And one I learned was I pick up paper slip that dropped from balloon that sent from Taiwan. And the slip talk about, we don't ride on bicycles, we have cars, we have refrigerator, we have washer dryer. And I asked my parents, what are washer dryers? What a refrigerator? There was none of that. In fact, we didn't have our own bathrooms, and it was like really primitive living conditions, and we have to grow our own vegetables, and yeah, and we are kind of almost starving. I mean, it's like very limited food. So that really the trigger point was like what was sent from Taiwan, and I don't know if it was true or not, but I thought somebody sent it. So I would assume, there was a reasons for sending it. And when I went to Hong Kong, I compared the textbooks for the same historic periods of Hong Kong, mainland China, and Taiwan. Totally different descriptions. So it was at that time I knew that somebody not telling the full stories because it cannot be totally different for the same historic periods. And that kind of planted the seed. So I'm glad that eventually I get to media and able to tell the truth. And Epoch Times believe in truth, tradition, and hope.
Well, I hate to say I'm glad that you went through that, but it's an incredible story. And I want to get the truth out because a lot of people don't really understand, number one, how good we have it here. But number two, how people can rise above difficult situations. And you did just that when you eventually came to America. Talk about that for a minute. How did you get here?
So Tiananmen Square massacre was the trigger point, and my best friend was at medical school in Beijing, and he worked on the ambulance. He personally carried dozens of dead bodies and injured students. And that changed my life. So I gave up everything. And actually, my parents used up on their entire savings and let me have like first years of tuitions and room and boards money. And I applied for different colleges in the US, never have a chance to visit any colleges. And at the end, I landed at University of Texas at Austin. It was one of the top public school, lowest tuitions and the lowest living costs. And that was my choice. I was accepted by UC Berkeley, University of Florida, University of Virginia, University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, University of Washington, and Seattle. And so, and I was really fortunate. I have host family, Rhonda and Randy Goss, who took me to the home for the first Thanksgivings, took me to church and saw how the kids were baptized. And it was like true freedom. I mean, from not knowing anybody in Austin, Texas, when I landed at the age of 19 and have no AP advanced courses because there was none back then in my home country then. And but America is the place not only with freedom, but it's like opportunities.